California, 1969. On a dark, winding road north of San Francisco, a peaceful night is about to be shattered by an act of chilling violence. A young couple, just starting their lives together, parks their car in a secluded lover's lane. They're seeking a quiet moment, unaware that they are being watched. A second car pulls up behind them, its headlights blinding them. A figure emerges, holding a flashlight and something far more sinister. This is just the beginning of a reign of terror that will grip Northern California for months, orchestrated by a phantom who calls himself the Zodiac. This killer didn't just commit murders, he craved the spotlight. He taunted the police and the public with bizarre, coded letters sent directly to the press, including the San Francisco Chronicle. These cryptograms, a mix of strange symbols and boasts, promised to reveal his identity to anyone clever enough to solve them. This is the Zodiac speaking. The letters would begin, each one a chilling new chapter in a terrifying saga. He claimed responsibility for numerous attacks, providing details only the killer could know, proving his claims were horrifyingly real. The Bay Area was paralyzed with fear. Was he a neighbor, a co-worker, a stranger passing on the street? The Zodiac's descriptions varied wildly. Some witnesses described a heavy-set man in a strange executioner-style oud, while others reported a more average-looking individual. This chameleon-like ability to blend in made him all the more terrifying. He could be anyone, anywhere. He played a twisted game with law enforcement, at one point even calling into a live TV talk show, his voice a haunting whisper that sent shivers down the spine of everyone listening. The police were in a frantic race against time. Detectives like Dave Toschi, who later inspired the movie Dirty Harry, dedicated their lives to unmasking this monster. They chased down thousands of leads, interviewed countless suspects, and spent endless nights poring over the cryptic letters. But every lead seemed to go cold. The Zodiac was always one step ahead, a ghost who left behind a trail of ciphers and bodies, but never a clear clue to his true identity. The most famous cipher, the Z408, was cracked by a schoolteacher and his wife, but it offered no name. Only more taunts and twisted ideology. Decades have passed since the Zodiac's last confirmed letter. The official case remains open to this day. Generations of amateur detectives and professional investigators have been captivated by the mystery, proposing countless theories and suspects. Was he Arthur Lee Allen, the prime suspect for years, yet never conclusively linked? Was he a group of people, or a phantom who simply vanished? The Zodiac Killer created a modern myth, a true crime story where the villain gets away. He's more than just a serial killer. He's a question mark that hangs over California history, a faceless bogeyman whose identity remains one of the greatest unsolved mysteries of all time. What do you think happened to the Zodiac? Let me know your theories in the comments below. And if you found this dive into one of history's darkest cases interesting, don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more unsolved mysteries. Thanks for watching. In the quiet hum of a forgotten archive, nestled between shelves of dusty tomes and forgotten histories, lies a story waiting to be told. It's not a story written in plain words, but one whispered in the secret language of ciphers, hidden within the folds of these old, brittle letters. For decades, they have sat here, their ink fading, their secrets locked away, a silent testament to a past shrouded in mystery. Who wrote them, and more importantly, what message were they so desperate to conceal? Our journey begins with a single envelope, postmarked over a century ago, addressed to a name that has long since vanished from memory. Inside, not a heartfelt confession or a mundane update, but a grid of symbols, a cryptic puzzle that seems to defy all logic. This isn't just a random collection of marks. It's a deliberate, meticulously crafted code, the kind of code used by spies, by secret societies, by lovers who dared not speak their feelings aloud. Every line, every dot, every seemingly insignificant flourish holds a piece of the puzzle. As we delve deeper, more letters surface, each one a new layer to the enigma. Here, a page filled with what looks like musical notes, but with no discernible melody. There, a series of numbers that don't seem to follow any mathematical pattern. It's like a conversation frozen in time, its participants long gone, leaving us to piece together their dialogue from these fragmented clues. Scattered amongst them are old newspaper clippings, their headlines screaming of political intrigue, unsolved crimes, and his society scandals. Are they connected? Or are they just red herrings, designed to lead us astray? The flickering lamplight reveals subtle clues the naked eye might miss. A faint indentation here, a smudge of ink there. Was the writer in a hurry? Were they afraid? The very paper seems to hold the tension of the moment it was written. We turn to the tools of the trade. Frequency analysis, pattern recognition, and a healthy dose of intuition. We start by looking for the most common symbols. In most languages, certain letters appear more frequently than others. Could the most repeated symbol here represent the letter? It's a starting point, a first foothold in a mountain of secrets. With that first letter substitution, a glimmer of sense begins to emerge from the chaos. A word starts to form. Then another. It's a slow, painstaking process, like learning a language one letter at a time. Each breakthrough is a rush of adrenaline, a small victory against the shadows of the past. The messages are fragmented, speaking of clandestine meetings at midnight, of a package that must be protected at all costs, of a traitor in their midst. The stakes were clearly high. This wasn't just a game, it was a matter of life and death. The names that begin to surface don't appear in any official records. They are phantoms, ghosts in the historical machine. But the places they mention are real. A forgotten alleyway in Paris, a secluded dock in London, a specific bench in a Viennese park. We are no longer just code breakers. We are becoming historical detectives, chasing whispers through the cobbled streets of old Europe. The more we uncover, the more we realize this isn't just one person's story. It's a web, a network of individuals bound by a shared, dangerous secret, a secret they were willing to protect with their lives. What was this secret? Was it a lost fortune, a political conspiracy that could have rewritten history, or a forbidden love story that defied the conventions of its time? The final letters are the most challenging, the code more complex, as if the writer knew their time was running out. The handwriting becomes more frantic, the symbols more compressed. It's a race against time, not just for them, but for us, as we try to unlock the final piece of the puzzle before the trail goes cold forever. The answer, we feel, is close. It's hidden in this last, heavily encrypted message. The culmination of all their hopes and fears, sealed away for a century. The key, the final cipher, must be hidden somewhere in plain sight, within the other documents we've already examined. A word circled in a newspaper, a date, a seemingly random doodle in a margin. The solution is here, waiting for the right pair of eyes to see it. This is more than just an old mystery. It's a legacy, a story that has fought to survive, encoded in ink and paper, waiting for someone to finally give it a voice. Join us as we attempt to break the final code and reveal the truth that has been silent for so long. Thanks so much for coming along on this incredible journey. If you're as fascinated by codes and mysteries as I am, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you won't miss the conclusion to this century-old enigma. See you in the next video. The year is 1977. The air hangs thick with stale coffee and cigarette smoke, a familiar perfume in the homicide division. Outside, the city hums with disco and the promise of a new era. But in here, time is frozen. It is marked only by the growing stack of files on my desk and the faces of the victims staring back at me from the corkboard. Another night, another dead end. My partner, Sullivan, is hunched over a city map, his brow furrowed in concentration. The red strings connecting photos, locations, and newspaper clippings look like a spider's web, and we're the flies caught in it. We've been on this case for 6 weeks. 6 weeks of chasing shadows and interviewing ghosts. The press has dubbed him the Calendar Killer. He strikes on the last day of each month, leaving behind nothing but a cryptic symbol drawn in chalk. No witnesses, no forensics, no motive. Just a chilling pattern that makes no sense. The brass is breathing down our necks. The mayor is calling every hour, and the city is holding its breath. Every time that rotary phone rings, my heart jumps, expecting the worst. Every tick of the clock on the wall sounds like a countdown to the next victim. Sullivan taps the map. Look here, Jake. The first victim was here, in the industrial district. The second, uptown near the park. The third, by the waterfront. There's no geographical logic. I run a hand over my tired face. Maybe the logic isn't in the where, but the who. We've been through the victims' lives with a fine-tooth comb. A librarian, a dock worker, a secretary. Strangers. No connection, no shared history, nothing that links them together except their final, brutal moments. The killer is a phantom, moving through the city unseen, unheard. My gaze drifts back to the board. The faces, ordinary people, caught in an extraordinary nightmare. We owe it to them. We owe it to their families who call us every day. Their voices filled with the hope we're struggling to keep alive. The frustration is a physical thing, a weight pressing down on my chest. It's easy to get lost in the darkness of a case like this, to let the obsession consume you. You start seeing patterns everywhere, in the cracks on the sidewalk, in the way the leaves fall. You stop sleeping, you forget to eat. The case becomes your entire world. But then, a flicker, a detail I'd overlooked 100 times. I grab a file from the bottom of the pile, my hands shaking slightly. It's the file for the first victim, the librarian. I flip through the pages, my eyes scanning the witness statements, the preliminary reports. And there it is, a small, seemingly insignificant detail from a supplementary interview with her coworker. She mentioned the victim had recently joined a local astronomy club. It was nothing, a hobby. But on a hunch, I pulled the other files. The dock worker. His wife told us he loved stargazing from the pier. The secretary, a receipt from a bookstore for a book on constellations. It's not the ground they were on. It's the sky they were looking at. I grab a celestial map we had tucked away in a drawer and spread it over the city map. Sullivan looks at me, a spark of understanding in his eyes. We start plotting the locations. The first victim, here. The second, here. The third, here. It's not random. It's not a spider's web. It's a constellation. He's not just killing. He's drawing in the sky, using the city as his canvas and human lives as his stars. The chill that runs down my spine has nothing to do with the late-night air. We haven't been chasing a man. We've been chasing an artist, a creator of a masterpiece only he can see. And the next star in his sky is due to be placed in just a few days. The clock isn't just ticking anymore. It's screaming. But for the first time in weeks, we finally know which way to run. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more true crime stories. For decades, one of America's most infamous serial killers taunted the world with a series of cryptic messages. The Zodiac Killer, who terrorized Northern California in the late 1960s and early 70s, left a trail of unsolved ciphers that have baffled amateur sleuths and professional cryptographers for over 50 years. But what if we could bring the power of 21st century technology to bear on this 20th century mystery? Imagine a team of modern-day codebreakers in a high-tech lab, surrounded by glowing monitors and holographic displays. This isn't science fiction. It's the new reality of digital forensics. The Zodiac sent at least 4 coded messages to newspapers. The first, the Z408 cipher, was cracked relatively quickly by a school-to-teacher and his wife. It revealed a chilling, misspelled message about collecting slaves for the afterlife. But the others, especially the notorious Z340 cipher, remained a stubborn enigma for more than 51 years. Think about the sheer complexity. The Z340 is a 340-character puzzle filled with abstract symbols. For half a century, it resisted every attempt at decryption. The FBI, NSA, and countless brilliant minds tried and failed. The cipher was a fortress, seemingly impenetrable. Now let's step into our modern lab. The air hums with a low thrum of powerful servers. Screens flicker with the strange, alien-like symbols of the Zodiac ciphers. Instead of just pen and paper, our team has quantum computers, artificial intelligence, and sophisticated pattern recognition algorithms at their fingertips. The initial approach involves digitizing the ciphers, cleaning up the handwritten symbols to create a perfect digital replica. This alone is a painstaking process, ensuring every dot and line is accurately represented. Once digitized, the real work begins. The team unleashes AI-driven software to run millions of simulations per second. These programs test for every known cryptographic technique, substitution ciphers, transposition ciphers, and even more obscure methods that the Zodiac might have invented himself. Holographic displays spring to life, projecting the cipher into three-dimensional space. The codebreakers can walk around it, manipulate it, and view it from every angle. They highlight potential patterns, rotating blocks of symbols, and overlaying frequency analysis charts. The blue light from the screens reflects on their focused faces, a mixture of intense concentration and sheer determination. They're not just looking for letter substitutions. They're searching for the killer's psychological signature hidden within the code. Did he read certain books on cryptography? Did he make specific, repeatable errors? Every possibility is a data point fed into the system. The machine learns, adapts, and refines its approach, getting smarter with every failed attempt. It's a digital ghost hunt, chasing the echoes of a mind from the past. Then, a breakthrough, a specialized algorithm, designed to detect non-standard reading directions, flags a potential anomaly in the Z340 cipher. It suggests reading the symbols in a diagonal, snake-like pattern. It's a wild theory, one that would be incredibly time-consuming to test by hand. But for the computer, it's just another calculation. The team inputs the new parameters. The room falls silent. The only sound, the frantic clicking of keys as they initiate the new decryption sequence. Characters begin to flicker on the main screen, rearranging themselves. For a moment, it's just another jumble of nonsense. But then, words start to form. I hope you're having lots of fun in trying to catch me. The atmosphere in the lab shifts from tension to pure adrenaline. I am not afraid of the gas chamber because it will send me to paradise all the sooner. The final message appears, its misspellings and grammatical errors, a chilling fingerprint of the killer himself. The code is broken. After 51 years, the Z340 cipher finally yielded its secrets, not just to human ingenuity, but to a powerful partnership between man and machine. While this real-life breakthrough in 2020 was achieved by a team of private citizens using specialized software, it showcases the incredible potential of modern technology. The remaining ciphers, Z13 and Z32, are still out there, waiting. And as technology continues to evolve at an exponential rate, it's only a matter of time before these last dark secrets are brought into the light. The ghosts of the past can run, but in the digital age, they can no longer hide. Thanks for watching. If you found this fascinating, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon for more deep dives into the world's greatest unsolved mysteries. It was a message that haunted investigators for over half a century. A complex, cryptic code sent by one of America's most infamous serial killers, the Zodiac. For 51 years, the Z340 cipher remained an unbreakable enigma, a taunting symbol of a case gone cold. Top cryptographers at the FBI and NSA had tried and failed. Amateur sleuths dedicated their lives to it, but the killer's secrets remained locked away. The Zodiac claimed his name was hidden within those 340 symbols, a final piece of a puzzle that had terrified Northern California in the late 1960s. He was a ghost, a phantom who communicated through letters to the press, and then vanished, leaving behind a legacy of fear and unanswered questions. Until now, December 2020. The world was grappling with a global pandemic, and then a headline broke that sent shockwaves across the internet. The Zodiac cipher had been cracked, but it wasn't the FBI, and it wasn't a seasoned government agent. It was a trio of amateur codebreakers, 3 ordinary individuals from different corners of the globe, united by a shared obsession. There was David Orenshock, a web designer from Virginia who had dedicated over a decade of his life to the cipher. He was joined by Jarl Van Eyck, a warehouse operator and computer programmer from Belgium, and Sam Blake, an applied mathematician from Australia. This was their Mount Everest. For years, they ran countless programs, tested endless theories, and stared at the same strange symbols that had stumped the world's best minds. They knew the Zodiac had made mistakes in his previous, much simpler cipher, the Z408. So they started with the assumption that this one would be flawed. The key, they suspected, wasn't a simple substitution. It was something far more complex. A method known as a transposition cipher, where the letters of the message are jumbled up in a specific pattern. They believed the symbols needed to be read diagonally, like a knight's move in chess. They ran thousands upon thousands of variations through a custom-made software created by Jarl. Most of the time, the program returned gibberish. But one day, a few words began to emerge from the digital noise. Trying to catch me. The gas chamber. I am not afraid. The hair on their arms stood up. This was it. After painstaking work, they pieced together the full message. It wasn't the killer's name, as everyone had hoped. Instead, it was more of his chilling, narcissistic rambling. The deciphered text read, "I hope you're having lots of fun and trying to catch me. That wasn't me on the TV show, which brings up a point about me. I am not afraid of the gas chamber because it will send me to paradise all the sooner because I now have enough slaves to work for me where everyone else has nothing when they reach paradise, so they are afraid of death. I am not afraid because I know that my new life will be an easy one in death paradise." He even misspelled paradise. It was a disappointing, yet terrifying glimpse into a deeply disturbed mind. The team immediately sent their solution to the FBI. On December 11th, the San Francisco FBI office officially confirmed their findings. The Z340 cipher, a mystery for 51 years, was finally solved. The news exploded globally. For David, Ural, and Sam, it was the culmination of a life's passion. Their incredible achievement proved that, with dedication and collaboration, even the most impossible puzzles can be solved. While the message didn't reveal the Zodiac's identity, it stripped away some of his mystique. He was no longer a criminal mastermind with an unbreakable code. He was just a man who couldn't even spell paradise. The hunt for his name continues, but thanks to these 3 citizen sleuths, we are one step closer to understanding the man behind the myth. Thanks for watching, and if you found this story as fascinating as I did, don't forget to like and subscribe for more deep dives into history's greatest mysteries. Picture this. A lonely stretch of highway somewhere in Northern California. It's late. The kind of late where the world feels asleep, but you wide awake. A thick, cold fog is rolling over the hills, swallowing the moonlight and leaving only the faint glow of your headlights cutting through the darkness. The air is heavy, silent, except for the hum of your engine and the beat of your own heart. Then, you see it. A flicker of movement at the edge of the road. A shadowy figure standing just beyond the reach of the light. It's there for a second, then gone, swallowed by the fog. Was it real? Or just a trick of the mind on this desolate road? This is the kind of chilling scene that sets the stage for one of America's most enduring and terrifying unsolved mysteries. The case of the Zodiac Killer. For years, this enigmatic figure haunted Northern California, leaving a trail of terror and taunting messages that baffled law enforcement and captivated the public. He wasn't just a killer. He was a phantom, a mastermind who played a deadly game with the police and the press, a game that, to this day, has never truly ended. The story begins in the late 1960s, a time of supposed peace and love. But for the communities around the San Francisco Bay Area, it was the dawn of a new kind of fear. The Zodiac's attacks were brutal and seemingly random. Young couples looking for a quiet moment in their cars became his targets. He would strike in secluded lovers' lanes, places that were meant to be safe havens. The attacks were marked by a chilling level of sadism and a desire not just to kill, but to instill widespread panic. But what truly set the Zodiac apart were his letters. He sent a series of bizarre and threatening cryptograms to local newspapers. These weren't just confessions. They were challenges. "This is the Zodiac speaking," he'd begin, before launching into detailed accounts of his crimes that only the killer could know. He created his own symbol, a crosshairs-like emblem that became synonymous with his reign of terror. It was his signature, his brand. Imagine being an editor at the San Francisco Chronicle, opening a letter and finding a piece of a victim's bloody shirt, proof that the author was the real deal. In his letters, he threatened more violence if his ciphers weren't published on the front page. He demanded attention, and they got Italian. The entire Bay Area was on edge. He claimed to have killed as many as 37 people, though only 5 deaths have been definitively linked to him. The rest remain part of the terrifying legend he built around himself. Let's look closer at the clues, the ones that have obsessed detectives and amateur sleuths for over 50 years. We have the ciphers, intricate puzzles filled with cryptic symbols. One of the most famous, the 408 cipher, was cracked by a schoolteacher and his wife. It revealed a rambling, misspelled message about the thrill of the hunt. But other ciphers, like the notoriously complex 340 cipher, remained unsolved for decades, a silent testament to the killer's cunning. It was finally cracked in 2020, but the message inside only raised more questions, offering no real clues to his identity. Then there are the police sketches, based on eyewitness accounts from the few who survived his attacks. They show a man in a hooded, executioner-style costume, the Zodiac symbol stitched onto the chest. It's an image straight out of a nightmare, a boogeyman made real. But despite having his DNA, a description, and even a potential voice recording from a taunting phone call, his identity has remained a ghost. Suspects have come and go, from the infamous Arthur Lee Allen to more recent, fringe theories. Yet, every lead has eventually turned into a dead end. The case file is a labyrinth of maybes and what-ifs. A military-grade boot print found at a crime scene. A partial palm print on a letter. Cryptic clues hidden in his taunts, referencing the most dangerous game. Each piece of evidence is like a single flickering candle in a vast, dark room. It illuminates just enough to give you hope, but not enough to show you the way out. The light dances over symbols and maps, each one a promise of an answer that never quite comes. The truth remains just out of reach, shrouded in the same fog that blankets those Northern California roads. And that's where the story hangs, frozen in time. The Zodiac Killer simply stopped. The letters ceased, the attacks ended, and the phantom vanished back into the shadows from whence he came. Did he die? Was he imprisoned for another crime? Or did he simply decide his game was over, content to live out his days in anonymity, watching as the world continued to guess his name? The silence he left behind is almost as terrifying as the chaos he created. The ultimate mystery isn't just who he was, but why he stopped. The case remains open. The figure on the road is still out there, a ghost in the machine of American true crime. His identity a secret he may have taken to his grave. The Zodiac is still speaking, not in letters, but in the unsettling quiet of an unsolved case. Thanks for watching. If you're fascinated by mysteries that defy explanation, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell. We've got a lot more strange stories to explore together. Stay curious and stay safe.